Hey Scrappers, it's Tom from the iScrap app, and wherever you're watching us this week, we welcome you to our weekly report, where you can learn about scrap metal prices, news, ask us questions about materials, or ask our advice on the markets. If you're looking to ask those questions, ask us whether it's live or after, and we'll always get you those answers. Come on in, let's go talk scrap. Hey Scrappers, Tom from iScrap, and today is February 2nd, 2022. We hope everyone is doing well. As my sister just informed me, a day like today won't happen for another 11 years when it'll be March 3rd, 2020 or 2033, so 3333. So let's enjoy a cool day, and hopefully you're doing well and staying busy. You know, we're looking at these markets every single day, and it seems like it gets to be so repetitive. That's why I want to lead off with a bunch of questions that you've been asking. So instead of me giving you some market updates, I'm able to answer some of your questions. And don't forget, if you're a Patreon supporter, we answer your questions, we help you make money, and we give you tips that not everyone else gets. But let's start with some questions that we've gotten over the last week and go from there.
First question is, Russell asks, what do battery prices look like?
So the battery prices is actually something that I've highlighted a couple of weeks in a row, Russell, and we see the lead acid battery market as a decreasing, unstable market that we don't expect to see any large increases coming ever again. You know, back in the maybe 3-4 years ago, we saw battery prices 45 cents per pound. But as we have moved away from combustible engines and moved towards electric vehicles, you know, cars were one of the main drivers for the lead acid batteries and for the applications. And if you think about your day-to-day life, lawnmowers, they're becoming electric. Snow blowers, electric. Leaf blowers, electric. Going away from gasoline, going away from needing, you know, batteries to jumpstart these things, tractors and things like that. And all of those are things that are going to affect the lead acid battery prices going into the next forever. You know, battery prices are continuing to go down, and we really don't see any type of an increase coming anytime soon. Now, what else is going on with the markets? Well, we've seen copper prices climbing to relatively strong levels over the last week and a half. We've seen a very weird market. Month of January was one of the worst months that we saw in the stock market. It kind of it followed suit going into last week. We saw the copper prices dropping down. We saw copper prices jumping up, and we'll go into that in a little bit. Let's answer another question.
Steve asks, is there any advantage to holding copper long term? I'm holding copper for retirement in 3 years.
Hey, I mean, you know, Steve, if scrapping is not your full-time job and you're looking to get a bonus for your retirement, by all means, hold it. Me, I move it every single day. I've said this for years through iScrap, through Rockaway Recycling. We have a 2 to 3 day material turnover. So we don't hold things. And when you have prices where they are right now, like 5% off of the all-time highs, which we briefly saw in May and June of 2021, we really think that these markets are very strong. And you might be better suited taking that retirement copper, cashing it in, and investing it in something else, or even just kind of storing it in a bank account, even if it's not gaining any interest. But with markets at really high record levels overall, there's no reason to hold stuff longer than you should unless you're just looking for that quick sell. But what happens in 3 years when you retire and the markets are at $2.50 or $3? You'll be upset and you might have missed out, but you also have to be willing to cash in today and know that maybe it goes to $5 or $6 with these crazy inflationary numbers that we're seeing. So hopefully that helps you out, Steve.
And then the last question is, the stainless market has been climbing. Nickel market is volatile. What's your take? Have stainless scrap prices peaked out?
I think that we have seen stainless prices hitting levels that we haven't seen in about 8 or 10 years. I don't think that they've peaked out. I actually think that we're going to continue to see a slow build for the next 6 months, with markets going even higher than they are. 304 numbers are 60 cents, 70 cents, 80 cents per pound, depending where you are in the country. 316 numbers, $1 a pound or more, have been reported in many areas of the country. These numbers are very strong. The nickel rates are very high and the demand is there. I do think that we see more of an upside on the stainless side of things. But one of the things that we're looking for is market alerts. And back in 2008, when the market had the financial collapse, and we saw in 2011 with pullbacks, there's rumblings going on of a major market pullback, not just for commodities, but really for the world markets as a whole. And one of the things that we're watching, and really one of the things that we're, I don't want to say preaching, but telling, is that 2 to 3 day turnover. You could see really quick turnarounds. Last week in the stock market, we saw markets dropping 1,000 points, 800 points, instability. You have third outside parties, in the world, Ukraine, Russia, gas prices, $88 per barrel. You see all these outside influences, right? These third-party influences that are affecting the world market. And when we're looking at these and how they affect scrap, we do see a lot of strong consumer demand, but we also see a lot of pressure building in the financial system that is showing that there will or could be a very large 20 to 30% market correction later this year and going into next year. And that could happen sooner. It could not happen at all. We could just be reading articles on doomsday type of events. But these are going to affect the markets. And that's why we continue to say cash is king, right? Cash in what you have. We recommend things that you should hold or sell. All copper and brass and wire items are on the sell list right now. Get them out of the garage. Cash them in. Don't try to squeeze that extra 3% from the scrapyard. Sell it. Use that money. Hold on to that money. Steel, while we have seen a pullback on steel, we still hold to our guns that we've done for the last 2 or 3 weeks of holding heavier grades, because we do think that we're going to start to see a little more market luster and demand for heavier grades of steel. Move your light iron, your sheet iron, your shred constantly, but your rotors, your unprepared, your cast irons, we might see a bit of an uptick, but that is going to largely hinge on some of these oil prices. At 8 or 9 year highs at $88 per barrel, economists are quickly predicting $100 to $120 per gallon, per barrel oil, which will equate to $4.50 on an average for gasoline at the pump. Well, those gasoline, diesel, kerosene, natural gas prices are going to make it more expensive for overseas shipments, for people commuting to and from work, for scrapyards paying their roll-offs or their dump trailers, or even by railroad car, more money to move that material. What's going to happen from there? Those recycled prices might be able to absorb a little bit of the higher shipping, but ultimately the consumer buying the cars and the tablets and the smartphones and the stuff, right? Americans love their stuff, as the world knows, and they continue to sell us more stuff. We're going to see the consumer demand continuing, but you're going to have baked into this a lot of costs that are going to price people out of upgrading their cars, price people out of upgrading their laptops. And a lot of this hinges on the energy prices and the energy costs right now. I heard something recently, they were talking about natural gas rates being 50 or 60% higher than they were a year ago. Well, that's going to affect people's home heating bills. That's going to affect how energy gets produced. As coal gets shut down in the country and things like solar and wind get built up a little more, you need to be able to replace a lot of that power, and natural gas has done that with many turbines. But as the prices increase, your electricity costs are going to increase, and these are going to be things that offset a lot of the scrap prices that we talk about. So when I look at things like catalytic converters, where the market's going to be going is something that we'll talk about right after this short break.
At rrcats.com, we have everything that you need to sell your catalytic converters. We have an easy quoting system that you can send pictures or serial numbers to. We have the ability to get your cats graded within 1 business day. You'll get quick payment via PayPal or check. If you look at our Google reviews and our other online reviews, you will feel confident with the team at rrcats.com to be able to purchase your catalytic converter time and time again. We look forward to earning your business at rrcats.com today.
So things like precious metals from the catalytic converters are going to really be affected by a lot of these energy costs, and as well as a lot of these auto manufacturers really pushing out from there. Now, what's going on with the catalytic converter markets? Well, first and foremost, rrcats.com is offering free shipping on all catalytic converters in the month of February 2022. So if you have been curious about this system, free shipping for everyone. So whether you have an aftermarket or a GD3, we're paying for all of the shipping. So that just gives you a little idea of how aggressive that the team at rrcats.com is on the pricing and on getting the cats in. But looking at the market demand for this material, I was talking to someone yesterday and they were saying that, the auto sector is so far behind because of the chip shortage, the labor shortage, supply chain issues, all of these things, that they believe that the precious metals, platinum, palladium, and rhodium, will see an increase the second half of this year. Now, personally, I think that the numbers are really at strong levels. And if you take out a 3-month window back in 2021 where rhodium skyrocketed to $30,000 per ounce and palladium jumped to $2,800 per ounce, if you take that 3 to 4 month window out, right now in February 2022, we're at some of the top market rates of all time for catalytic converters. And to sit here and try to guess when the markets are going to go up to these all-time crazy highs, those are what you call bonus days. When those markets jump to those all-time highs and you're just coincidentally holding, that's a good thing. But you can't make money with something that's sitting on the sidelines, sitting in your garage. So take advantage of the free shipping that rrcats.com is offering to cash in your catalytic converter with market rates really high right now. What we do expect to see is as supply chains get recalibrated, as the chip shortage starts to get abated the second half of this year, we do expect to see more cars coming off the line, which means that more used cars are going to be coming out of the market, and we should see an uptick of catalytic converters coming in, but the demand is there, and we really see strong prices right now. Now, other things that we're looking at, aluminum has continued its strong 13-month run with markets continuing to be strong and aggressive. Moving forward, we expect a lot of the same. Other things that we're looking for, these fuel prices are really just red lighting everywhere right now. We're looking at them so closely because not only does it affect the large consumers getting moved, right? The Walmarts, the Apple's paying a lot of money for overseas containers. It's a trickle down all the way to people driving to and from work. So we're going to really follow these fuel costs and these oil prices very, very closely as Americans and as just the world is seeing these prices increased. So we're going to follow this because that's going to largely affect a lot of the scrap markets moving forward. Now, scrappers, we thank you for viewing our YouTube videos, our Instagram, our Facebook. We love to hear your questions about scrap. We go through these comments every single week. This way we can answer you and get some ideas so we learn about what you want to talk about. Don't forget to download the iScrap app. Of course, it's free to download. Get market news pushed to you multiple times a week, news alerts, pop-ups for prices, and it gives you access to post your prices that you've received from your scrap yards. If you have any more questions for us, let the team here at iScrap know. Until next week, I'll scrap you later.
Thanks for checking out our scrap videos. By becoming a Patreon supporter today, you'll be entered into monthly giveaways for tools and other products to help you make more money with your scrap.